At 3 o'clock in the morning, my husband woke me up and he told me he couldn't breathe. They came, we went to the hospital, and in 3 hours, my husband had lost his life. Losing my husband was the most devastating thing I've ever endured in my life.
The experience of losing my father, I can't even really explain it. It was kind of all happening at once. It's still unbelievable to this day. I was in a crucial time in my life, and to not have his support was really hard. And I was a daddy's girl, so I was really close to my father. So for me to lose him, it just kind of like rocks my whole world. Even like basic everyday functioning was hard, you know, waking up every day just realizing he's not here. I was just a different person because everyday life wasn't the same to me. And I dealt with a lot of criticism from other students because I just wasn't the same person. I couldn't function the same.
Those two were amazing together. She looked up to her father. She needed her dad. I needed him in my life. I needed him to help me raise my children. He was our rock. He was the light of my family. I had an 11-year-old daughter that lost a father. I couldn't help her. I couldn't talk to her. I couldn't explain to her what I needed. I couldn't explain to her what we both were going through. I couldn't reach out to her. I couldn't help her. I couldn't stop and say to her, wait, let me hug you, because I was going through my own grief. And I do remember there was an unspoken rule. We won't talk about them. We won't talk about the pain, the hurt. We won't even talk about the happy moments. And it's sad to hear that, but that was the only way that I could deal with it at that time. Push those feelings down.
I would cry sometimes worried about my mother because she was just in such a dark place, and it was scary. I already lost my father, and I felt like I had mentally and emotionally lost my mother as well.
It's scary to hear that because I don't think they realized they almost lost me. Bria was my life source, and I knew it was my job to take care of her. And I was so afraid because I couldn't be the mom that I needed to be for her. And I was afraid that I was gonna allow the grief to really engulf me and take over, and not only was she gonna lose her dad, oh my goodness, now she's gonna lose her mom.
But I don't think she realized it until she came to Judy's house that she needed to talk about it, because she had no one. And I hate to say this, but like even in our family, they love us, they really do, but they didn't understand it. And there are so many people, believe it or not, they're like, you know, it'll pass, you'll get over it, you'll be okay.
I would not have survived it. I remember my children saying they were worried about me because they were scared. I didn't see it. I didn't see the pain that I sat in. I didn't see the dark cloud that was over my home. You have to purposely get on that journey, because if you don't, you will stay in that dark and you would not survive it. And that's why I sought out help.
Judy's house helped my family because while I was learning how to grieve and go through the healing process, it also allowed my mother to come and grieve and go through the healing process. It's important to grieve because until you start grieving, you can't start to heal. And to know it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to cry, it's okay to grow through all of these emotions. Judy's house was really beneficial to my mother because in our relationship, we basically got to a point where we couldn't talk to each other. I tried to talk to my mom. I would try to open to her about my grief because, you know, before Judy's house, I really had no one to talk to but my mom. But I couldn't talk to her. Like everything I would say to her, she would shut me down if I tried to even bring up my father.
After we came to Judy's house, one of the biggest things was the communication opened up.
There was definitely a shift in my mom that I saw, and she began to be more open with me, and our relationship definitely built after coming to Judy's house. You know, I lost a father and she lost a husband, so our processes were completely different. I understood her more. Even when she was going through certain things, I understood this is why she's going through it, and it's not because she doesn't want to be there for me, she just necessarily can't at that moment. She made more of an effort, even in her grief, to be there for me as well. And even though we're going through two different processes, she really made an effort to actually like talk to me about it.
Judy's house helped me in so many ways. So I think we are in an amazing place. I'm ready to live.